mentioned the pay-per-view model that you guys have in the UK. You charge less on pay-per-view for the fights, but obviously more people buy that. How much maybe could the US pay-per-view market learn from what you guys are doing because they charge so much?
Yeah, it's difficult because once you go that way, you can never go back. So, and like I've spoken to broadcast before, you know, should a fight that's for us is £16.95. Some of the bigger ones are £19.95. But say on a £16.95, sometimes there's a bigger fight than another pay-per-view, but it's the same price. But I think the broadcaster is aware that once you change the price point, it's like an admission of quality. So if you say, now normally it's $60, is it your
65,
65,
70,
so this time we're going to do it for $30. So what does that mean? It's half as good as a normal one.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So it's quite a difficult mindset. People are used to spending $60 or $65.
But now they're not. That's
but you say that, but maybe that's because it's poor promotion, and maybe that's because the fighters aren't being built properly in the first place. And I'm not pointing fingers at anyone, and I'm not even, although there is an element of that with Ward-Kovalev, I just think in general that you can't, a pay-per-view fighter doesn't occur overnight. He has to be built. You know, you have to build him, and that's why I think Tom Loeffler's done such a great job with Golovkin. And I know the Lemieux numbers were not, you know, astronomical, but he has built him. Don't forget he's from Kazakhstan. You know, and now obviously I think, you know, Golovkin-Jacobs will be a really interesting number to gauge where they're at, because, you know, I think the Brook-Golovkin numbers were good in the UK, 400,000 plus, but I expected more. But sometimes all of us, you guys, me, we live in a bubble where we don't realise what the general public are thinking. So we go, it's a bit like Kell Brook against Errol Spence. We go, wow, great fight. You walk down in any street in England, or even maybe, and say, Kell Brook, yeah, I know Kell Brook, yeah, he's going to fight Errol Spence. Who's Errol Spence? Do you know what I mean? So you have to think wider, and that's probably the problem with Ward-Kovalev, the trade fight. It shouldn't have been a trade fight though, because it's sort of about two excellent fighters. And I think Golovkin-Jacobs is going to be, if that's promoted properly, and Tom does a great job, I think that could do good numbers. You know, whether it does, no, 250, 300, but yeah, it would, yeah. But you know, you look at like Smith against Canelo, what did that do? 250, yeah.
According to
Oscar. Yeah.
How much will the
do you know the other problem is, sorry to interrupt you, is like we build big undercards for the pay-per-view, because especially when Joshua's fight, I mean, that last one, you look at Joshua and Molina, right, did well over 400,000 buys. It was 3 rounds, like Molina didn't do a lot, he was just outclassed, he got knocked out badly. So if that was it, we would be like, I'd be strung up the next day in the centre of London and burned on a stake, right? So what you do is you put White Chisora on, you put Scott Quigg on, you put Luis Ortiz on, you put Katie Taylor on. So all of a sudden, by the time Joshua comes on, you want the people at home to be sitting there going, what a night. I hope Joshua goes in and knocks him out in 2 rounds so we can go to bed or go out. And what does he do? Goes in, looks $1 million, crash, knockout, and everyone goes, what a night. It's got to have everything. You can't just rely on the main event, you know.
How much did that cost?
£16.95, $20.
And how much will the Klitschko?
It hasn't been discussed. It might be £19.95, but around that. No.
What do you think wins between Jacobs and Triple G? I mean, you saw Kell Brook do against.
I think it's a really good fight. I like the fight a lot. I think Golovkin knocks him out.
Okay.
But I think it's a really good fight. I'm pleased that they made it, because, you know, you got obviously Al Heyman's guys and Tom Loeffler, and sometimes these fights slip by the net, and I feel a bit for Gennady Golovkin, because he really will fight anyone, but no one really wants to fight him. I mean, Kell jumped up 2 divisions to fight him, and it was 5 really good rounds of boxing. But I want to see Canelo against Golovkin. You know, and I think it's a live fight. I think Golovkin's the favourite, but I really rate Canelo. I think he's an excellent fighter.
Will that go rounds though against Jacobs, or is that going to be?
Yeah, I think it will. Yeah, I think it will. Depends how Golovkin chooses to fight. I mean, against Brook, he just seeked and destroyed, didn't he? And that's why it was 5 unbelievable rounds, because Brook had no choice but to stand and fight. Will he box like that against Jacobs? Probably. I don't think he'd be overly worried about Jacobs' power. Like, you know, I'm not saying he's a light puncher, but it's not.